Hello, this is Rick Davis, lead vocalist and guitar player from Shotgun Rebellion. I've been asked to talk a little bit about outlaw metal or outlaw rock, whatever you want to call it. Some people around the country are calling it country boy rock, and explain what that's all about. Well, I grew up in the 70s and 80s as a kid and a teenager, and I've had a guitar in my hand ever since I was a young boy. My father played guitar. Everybody in my family is pretty musically, except for my mother. Anyway, I wanted to play guitar, and I watched my dad, seeing him playing in bands and stuff, and I asked him to start giving me guitar lessons when I was pretty young, and he started teaching me stuff like, Robert Johnson, Buddy Guy, Leonard Skinner, Allman Brothers, all this blues and southern rock, along with Bob Dylan, songs of his day, Rolling Stones, bands like that, Albert Lee. Anyway, so my dad was a big influence on me playing, but at the same time, I was going home and listening to Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne at the time. When I was just a teenager, broke with Blizzard of Oz, and Randy Rhoads had come out, and Eddie Van Halen, and I was taking all those blues and southern rock licks that my dad taught me and teaching and trying to teach myself with those licks how to play like Randy Rhoads and Eddie Van Halen and the guys of my teenage years. So I had all these different influences. And on top of that, we grew up in the country where, after school, it wasn't anything unusual to see a guy ride up on a tractor at my school or a four-wheel drive truck, because we lived in the country, and it was a country school in Oklahoma. And so I'm playing football like all the good teenage boys here in Oklahoma do, big football uh, state. Anyway, I'm also hauling hay and hanging out with all these older guys, cowhands and ranchers and farmers. And I'm listening to a lot of Johnny Cash and Leonard Skinner and all this outlaw country and old school country. Like, in my day when I was a kid, Hank Williams Jr. was a big influence on me because he sounded like country, but he played like Southern rock. So there was Charlie Daniels, and I heard Waylon Jennings on Dukes of Hazzard when I was a young boy, and I discovered that he was one of the kings of outlaw country, and I really loved and fell in love with his songwriting and his voice. And all those guys, Christopher Christopherson, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings. So I was also at the same time listening to what was on the radio station and what me and my buddies playing football were listening to. Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil came out, Van Halen 1984 and all the stuff before that, and the Ozzy records, and Wasp and all these bands that I was really into at the day. Metallica and Megadeth were just starting to make an appearance on the scene. So I had all this southern rock, blues, and outlaw country and all this heavy metal. And so for a lifetime of growing up around that, all Shotgun Rebellion is a mixture of all that music. And you really get that on our first studio album that we recorded with John Cheadle, who's a great producer and engineer. It was one of the best experiences. I've been to the studio several times working on other projects and other bands that I've been to. Uh, I really learned a lot from John, and he got performances out of me vocally and on guitar that I didn't know I could do. So it's a great listen. You're going to hear a lot of different influences in this, and it's really hard to nail Shotgun Rebellion down to just one thing. Genres today with rock and roll is split up in all these different genres. There's too many of them out there. We need to be going across genres and listening to different things and being fans of all that, because if you're just stuck in one thing, rock and roll's not going to survive anymore. So try out new things and listen to what's going on out there. Some of my favorite bands out today are Blackberry Smoke and Black Country Communion. These guys are really bringing back that old school sound and mixing it with what's going on today. So Shotgun Rebellion's at the forefront of that. We've been doing this for a long time. We're just now getting an opportunity with Avid Promotions to take this sound to the world. And we'll see you out on the road. Hopefully you'll enjoy what you listen to and pick up a copy, because you never know that copy that you buy. Go to ReverbNation.com, Shotgun Rebellion. Follow us on Facebook. You can soon get us on eMusic, iTunes, all that stuff. buy a copy and support us while we're out there, because we just don't get the support that we used to, and bands are really struggling out there to bring this music to you. So if you love what you hear, we put a lot of time, years worth of songwriting, a heck of a producer and engineer on this record. It Every single song on it was thought about, redone, gone over, rewritten, so that every single song is a great listen. The CD Train of Pain will take you on a ride, and you're going to hear some old school heavy metal, something that sounds like something new today. You're going to hear some southern rock, some outlaw country, and a whole lot of blues influence in there. So really give it a listen, and if you like it, hey, buy the album, buy a t-shirt, go online, download some songs, and let everybody you know about this project and this band, and we'll see you out on the road. Thank you, and rock on.